The purpose of this exercise is to create strong leg loading and hip dissociation at the same time. If done properly, it will strengthen your feet, core, and glutes while creating hip flexibility and coordination. This exercise is the progression to the Grab the Ground one leg stand video. If you haven't watched that yet, please do so now. This exercise is very similar, but focuses more on the hip and dynamic stability. Gently shift your weight to one side and grab the ground with your foot. As your one side accepts the weight, visualize corkscrewing your leg into your hip. This is a relative internal rotation of your thigh and may feel like it pushes your heel outward. How you experience this movement will depend on the muscle balance around your hip, but should feel like it strengthens your leg and makes the front of your foot work. Engage your core and lift one knee forward and upward away from your pelvis. As this knee approaches 90 degrees, make a conscious effort to extend and corkscrew the leg that is on the ground. The end result should look like an easy stick man to draw. Your torso and leg are lined up at a 180-degree angle, and your other hip is 90 degrees to your torso. Your goal is to keep your pelvis and torso in the same place and completely dissociate the hip and knee movement. You may feel the need to focus on one knee going forward while the other knee goes backward. It is very common to develop what I call the tail that wags the dog syndrome, where flexing one hip causes the other hip and knee to flex too. You need to learn to have your limbs move in opposite directions while you keep your pelvis stable. That is a major part of what core stability is. Use a mirror the first few times you do this, because you likely don't realize that you are cheating by flexing your knee. It may be easier to balance by bending your knee and using your quads to support you, but the point of the exercise is to keep your knee straight and learn to use the muscles down the back of your leg to help support you. Once you have discovered the movement, repeatedly flex one hip to 90 degrees and lower it while attempting to balance and stabilize everything else. Focus on maintaining good trunk posture and a strong, stable lower leg while you swing the knee up and down. If you're having trouble, remember the keys to standing properly. Keep your lower rib cage full and slightly rounded, and use your hip flexors to help pull your pubic bone down and keep your pelvis over top of your hips. Don't let your butt tuck underneath you. If you are really sway-backed and tend to really hyperextend your knees, consciously try to relax your quads and keep your knees straight as you stand on one leg. Discover your hamstrings up the back of your legs. Repeat this hip movement on one side for 1 to 2 minutes, focusing on form. Then switch to the other side. If you have trouble balancing, place a couple fingers on a countertop to help you. If you are balancing on your left leg, use your right fingers to help, and vice versa. Once this exercise becomes easy, move to the more challenging one-leg stand progressions.